it looked like, if anyone's familiar with Billy Meier's sightings, very astonishingly similar to that craft. It was a very sleek, thin-looking, flying saucer-shaped craft. Kind of hard to describe without drawing it, but kind of abreast of all the UFO information. But the one that caught my attention was there were sightings in Sweden, I believe in the 70s and early 80s, of a farmer out there called Billy Meier. And the reason that caught my attention is the craft looks exactly like the one that I was working on. And he has some fantastic photographs of it. Now, people claim that the photographs are phony and so on and so forth. However, they look fairly decent. And on top of that, it looks exactly like the craft that I worked on. So if it was a phony picture, the chances of him building a model that looked exactly like the actual craft are remote. So it is possible that that craft was there, or we may have been testing it ourselves and taken it that far, though I doubt that. But that has caught my attention.
Okay. Has the government given you any problems?
The second similarity of crafts, and this is where it becomes a little bit more contentious with, I'm sure, a lot of people out there, Billy Meier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen Billy Meier images. Like,
Yeah.
Luigi has a poster of one. I mean, one of them, come on, it looks exactly like the sport model.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like it. So you can't tell me that's a fake picture. It's impossible.
Yeah, so I mean that's where it becomes like incredibly confusing with Billy Meier, because you look at some of his other photos, and I'm sure that you feel this way too.
Yeah, some of them are nonsense.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah,
this is like almost like a
but this is something I think a friend of mine, Gene Huff, called UFO researcher syndrome. You get some of these guys that are really into it, and they start bringing some facts forward and, begin to get attention. They, give lectures and things like that. And then, maybe they had some initial sighting or information. They work for the Navy or Air Force or something. And, it kind of dies away and they begin missing the attention. And then their story begins to expand a little bit. And, oh, wait, I forgot to tell you, and, their attention comes back and, that keeps increasing. And then also the Martian said, and, and then you have some, ridiculous thing. And I think, my own personal opinion, I think Billy Meier did have some sighting, got some pictures that were authentic. And look, at the time in the 70s, there was nothing. There was a Polaroid, and it's not like you can fake anything.
Yeah.
He got a lot of attention, a lot of press and all that. And he was just a one-on farmer in Switzerland, if I recall. And, just a lonely guy out there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's in all the news and all that. And then that begin to fade away. And I think the same thing happened, or at least possibly that, wait, here's another flying saucer I forgot to tell you about. That looks like a cake, Billy, right?
Yeah.
And it has golf balls stuck to it and sitting in his driveway with a string attached to it. So, yeah, I mean, some of them look ridiculous, but, I can't explain the similarity to, the sport model. That's why I'm convinced that's an actual photograph.
If I pull out, I have a book here. If I pull it out, can you point the one you're referring to?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
All of these?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Even so much as the
Yeah. I mean,
look, the underside.
Yeah.
He's got quite a few.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's it. Now, I mean, and I even mentioned that. I don't know if I got the amount of humps right.
The rings.
Yeah. Sometimes it looks different. Maybe it's a different, but I mean, that's it.
The sort of portholes or whatever those are.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm 100% behind those.
Yeah.
100%. There's no way Billy could have gotten that without seeing it.
Yeah.
So he might have seen this, and then as time went on, other things happened and other crafts came into being.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. But
do you think there's a possibility that, and this is like purely speculative, that afterwards Billy might have been like messed with or something?
That's also a possibility too.
Because seeing something like that, putting those photos, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Especially back then.
Yeah. Especially that craft. The amount of security that was behind that craft. They did not fly that around willy-nilly.
No, they're not cruising over Switzerland. No, not at all. Yeah, that's possible. He's a single guy, in the mountains of Switzerland somewhere.
Yeah.
You're not going to let a guy ruin your security.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always stuck out with me too, is that like it's such a bizarre thing, because you mentioned Billy Meier in today's, day and age, people automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, from what I've seen, some of the stuff just looks.
Some of the stuff's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And then there's the whole Semyaze, which again, I don't know, is it true or not? Like, look at this.
Come on, there's
a hubcap with
it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
I could build a better UFO.
Yeah.
But then the original ones are so. And as a photographer, I love photography. I love it. Like, I mean, the composition and everything, like they were beautiful photos.
Yeah.
Like really, really beautiful photos.
Yeah, but something changed.
Yeah.
So, but I don't claim to know what's going on. I just know that craft looks a lot like the crafts that I worked on.
Yeah.
I mean, 95%.
Yeah.
And how do you explain that?
Yeah. Camera on. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Aren't those crazy?
Yeah.
Like here, some of them are really interesting, because if you look at like that one looks a little sus, but if you look at these ones, there's one right here. There's double exposure because the craft moved.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen this book.
This is a fascinating book. This was a gift from Luigi, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Luigi gave me I think he gave me a picture book. It's much thinner and has, a few, not this many pictures in it. But a few of, the sport model.
Yep. They referred to it as a sport model?
I referred to it as a sport model. And everybody picked that up.
Really?
Yeah. After that, it was the sport model.
It was the sport model. Does look like a sport model.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's something.
Down to the antenna. That's like right there. You see it right there.
Yeah. Even that picture looks weird to me. Well, there's.
Yeah, I don't know if that's multiple or if it's long exposure, if it's bouncing around. I don't know. Some of them, but again, some of them look real.
Yeah, and some of them look absolutely fabricated.
Yeah, they look completely fabricated. So, and you know what? He's still around. It'd be nice to hear from him and to get something, get him. I just don't know if.
I think Luigi talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see something come from that, to be honest. He's somebody I think still needs to be heard in terms of that, because I think there is something there. Obviously with the craft. All right, I'm going to pull.
And so he thought, well, maybe these guys know what they're talking about. Also, we showed him the Billy Myers tapes, and of course, worldwide, he's labeled a fraud, and he wasn't. That was real stuff. But that was one of the government's most important projects, was to discredit Billy Myers, because the pictures were so great, so clear, the movies were so great, so clear, and they couldn't afford to have that happen. They had to discredit Billy Myers. And today, I know good friends that say, oh no, Billy Myers is a fraud. No, he wasn't. He was the real thing.
And can people find information about Billy Myers and see his photographs?
They can see his photographs, they can see his movies, and all they'll hear about is how it was faked there's so many people. I was thrown off. There's a website called Above Top Secret, and when I got on Above Top Secret, I was so popular there. I think I was number 8 or 9 in the popularity of the whole crowd there. But they started talking about Billy Myers, and I said it was real, and they, like hundreds of thousands of people, oh, you idiot, how could you believe anything like that? And I finally left because I didn't want to put up with that, and I was going to be a part of a website that was going to say that Billy Myers was a fraud. Mm-hmm. So I left ATS and went to different places, and I haven't been back other than I hooked up with Facebook